with.
Diane Keaton died on October 11, 2025, at the age of 79. In the wake of her passing, a close friend has begun to fill in the last weeks of her life, painting a portrait equal parts fragile and luminous. This is the story her circle is now telling, and the questions still lingering in the sudden silence she left behind. Friends say Diane's decline came fast. The songwriter Carole Bayer Sager, who had been one of Diane's longest collaborators and confidants, recalls seeing her just 2 to 3 weeks before she died. When Sager arrived, she was struck by Diane's appearance. She was very thin, she says. She had lost so much weight. That image, a once vibrant woman, diminished in body but still glowing in spirit, is now central to how we remember those final days. Sager says that she and Diane had drifted into fewer visits this year, partly because Diane spent chunks of time in Palm Springs to deal with wildfire damage at one of her properties. When she returned from there, Sager says she was kind of stunned by Diane's weight loss. Yet, despite the physical change, Diane remained engaged, photographing what she saw, humming to herself, still creating. She never completely withdrew from the world she loved. Those closest to her learned late just how sick she had become. According to multiple sources, Diane's family tried to keep her medical struggles private. Even longtime friends say they were not fully aware of her condition until the very end. What emerges now is the story of an artist who fought, privately, as her body faltered. Friends describe a sudden health collapse over recent months. One anonymous source told reporters that her health declined very suddenly, which was heartbreaking for everyone who loved her. The shift was so unexpected that many who loved her still struggled to believe it. Diane had not publicly disclosed serious health issues in recent years, making the swiftness of her passing all the more shocking. Still, Diane's creative impulse remained alive. In November 2024, she released her only solo single, First Christmas, a long-time dream she finally brought to fruition. Sager recalls Diane's excitement. She sang it earnestly, as though acting, tears building amid emotion. It was a project she had waited years to complete, and in her final stretch, she pursued it with joy. In March 2025, Diane listed her 5-bedroom Los Angeles home for sale, a move that surprised many given that she had expressed a desire to remain in that space. The decision to sell, sources suggest, may have been tied to shifting health, changing priorities, or a need to simplify. Around the same time, Diane reportedly withdrew from her regular dog walks and many habitual public routines. For someone so rooted in ritual, those changes were subtle red flags, now seen as clues to a larger struggle. Earlier in life, Diane had faced health battles. In her memoir, Then Again, and in interviews, she revealed she had suffered from bulimia in her 20s, and she had a family history of skin cancer. Her father, brother, and aunt all battled the disease. She underwent operations for basal cell carcinoma and other skin issues. That context now adds a deeper weight to her final fragile months. Public reaction to Diane's death poured in almost immediately. Goldie Hawn mourned their bond, calling Diane a humble, deeply talented soul, saying, "We aren't ready to lose you." Bette Midler posted that Diane was hilarious, a complete original, and completely without guile, reminding fans that what you saw was very much who she was. Celebrities as diverse as Steve Martin, Viola Davis, Jane Fonda, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Reese Witherspoon all honored her originality, her vulnerability, her willingness to be both messy and transcendent, on screen and off. Woody Allen, with whom Diane's cinematic identity is often entwined, was described by some as extremely distraught. Their professional and personal friendships spanned decades. Annie Hall, Manhattan, Interiors, Radio Days, among others. Many saw Diane as the emotional mirror to Allen's neurotic sensibility. Losing her felt like losing one of the interpretive lenses through which he viewed the world. Colleagues also remembered her generosity behind the camera, how she mentored younger actors, how she persisted when roles were scarce, how she used her platform to spotlight artists. Reese Witherspoon remembered Diane as one of her early champions. Sarah Jessica Parker said she was among the women who inspired countless others to own their weirdness. The mournful chorus that followed Diane's death reflects more than celebrity loss. It is the end of a rare voice in modern film. But the most vivid details we have come from those closest, from Sager's interview, from whispered accounts among friends, from the fragments people are willing to share. Sager called Diane a magic light for everyone, saying she just lit up a room with her energy. Even in frailty, that quality endured. She describes Diane humming, photographing, always sensing life. What we do not have is a definitive medical cause. The family has not disclosed the condition that finally overwhelmed her. No hospital statements, no autopsy revelations have been released publicly. The silence adds a haunting tension to the narrative. For all Diane's outspokenness in her art, now she exits with private, protective boundaries around her final decline. What is clear is that in the last months, she was focused on essential, meaningful acts, finishing a musical dream, organizing property, cherishing close friends, rather than grand public gestures. She receded willingly, choosing intimacy over spectacle, memory over announcement. In the end, the gentle lines her friends now draw are those of love, respect, and wonder, that her spirit remained alive even as her body failed, that she chose when and how to bow out, and that her legacy would be preserved not only in film history but in the hearts she touched. Soon, biographers will dig deeper, archival interviews will be re-examined, and more names may come forward to paint her final weeks. But for now, those who knew her best offer this account, a star dimming unexpectedly, but burning bright until the final moment. She leaves behind 2 adopted children, Dexter and Duke, and a legacy woven through half a century of cinema, style, and uncompromising authenticity. As we mourn Diane Keaton, we hold these recollections close, the voice that never stopped creating, the friend who noticed the smallest light in every room. Her departure asks us to reflect on our attachments, our endings, our stories. The absence is immense. The imprint she leaves is indelible. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.